Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creatnprocess. Today we're going to be working on another graphic design tutorial. We'll be creating this impulse graphic design using Illustrator. To design this, we'll follow only 4 steps. First, we'll draw out the curve path using the pen tool. Then we'll give the perspective extrude depth using 3D extrude bevel option. After that, use the Scissor tool to give the slice effect and give a nice gradient color to each of the surfaces. And lastly, add some plain shape on the back and blend it with the background. So let's begin with the designing process. If you look at the design, you can see that each of the surfaces are separate. So let's create a new artboard using the artboard tool. Now, using the pen tool, draw a curve, click and drag to give a smooth curve. Give it a stroke color and adjust the anchor points using the direct selection tool. Use the handles to adjust the smoothness of the curve. Now let's change the stroke color to blue and set the thickness to 2 mm. Then go to Effects, 3D Extrude and Bevel option. This will open up the Attributes panel. Take the Preview option and set the extrude depth to around 45 points and then click OK. This will give us this extrude curve. Next, create under duplicate of the curve and place it just above the previous design. We'll give different color for this stroke. Now using the direct selection tool, adjust the anchor points and the handles to set the ends one above the other. Add anchor points if necessary using the pen tool to maintain the flow of the shape. We'll give a slight bump in the middle. Next, create under duplicate of the curve shape and place it just above our second shape. And change the stroke color to dark blue. Now start adjusting the anchor points to match it with the flow of the design. Make sure that the ends are properly overlapped. In the same way, create under duplicate and apply orange color. Arrange it to back of the second and third shapes using the shortcut Command or Control open square bracket and adjust them properly. In the same way, create under duplicate of the curve shape. This time, we'll modify the flow of the shape using the direct selection tool. We'll add one more smaller bump at the end. The middle portion should be properly smooth. And at the end, adjust the anchor point direction using the anchor point tool. Also arrange it to back of the third shape. Adjust them properly until you get the perfect flow. Next, we'll create a duplicate of our first shape and place it at the back. Also make sure that the endpoints are placed at the back of the top shape. This will hide the incomplete ends. Once you have completed creating all the curve shapes, place them on the new artboard. Draw a new rectangle, same size of the artboard, and apply blue color. Use this color code to get the exact color. Then arrange it to back of the curve. Next, we'll create this cutout effect. To do that, select the curve shape. Then using the Scissor tool, click on the curve path. This will divide the shape into 2 different curves. After that, match the flow of the curves by adjusting the anchor points. In the same way, select on the curve shape and give a cut over here. Divide it into 2 separate shapes. Now reposition all the shapes in their respective place and maintain the continuity of the curves. Let's cut out a small section over here to give a gap and delete it out. Now we'll select all the curves and set the stroke thickness to around 2 point. This may vary as per your document size, but make sure that you have given a decent thickness. After that, go to Object and apply Expand Appearance. Then ungroup the shape twice. This will convert the curves into fill object. Now let's give a proper color to each of the surfaces. So select the shape and apply gradient color. Double click on the gradient tool to open the gradient attribute panel. Set the gradient angle diagonally and adjust the gradient colors. Double click on the first slider and apply blue color using this color code. Very dark color for the second slider and dark blue color for the third slider. You can see that each surface is made of different shapes. So open the Pathfinder and unite them. Now apply gradient color and adjust the gradient direction. For the top slider, use this color code to give the brighter color. For the middle use this color code to give darker tone. And for the bottom one, I have given the background color to blend it with the background. After that, select each of the surfaces. First, unite them using the Pathfinder option, and then apply the gradient colors. Edit the gradient direction according to the flow of the shape. After that, start tweaking each of the gradient slider by adjusting their position and their colors. Delete out all the small rectangle at the ends. For the top ends, apply the gradient color with only 2 sliders. In the same way, we'll apply the gradient color to each of the orange shapes. Select each of the surfaces and unite them using the Pathfinder. Select each of the separate pieces with the shift pressed and unite them. After that, apply a gradient color. We'll use this color code for the orange. For the first slider, increase the darkness. Add a third slider at the corner and make it little darker. Add one more slider in the middle, make it darker as well. Now start adjusting the position of the slider to give a darkness tone on both ends and lighter in the middle. Now select the second shape and apply the same color using the eyedropper tool. Set the direction and do some slight changes with the colors. Select the thickness and apply a bright gradient color for the corner shapes. Work with only 2 color slider. Keep the darker toward the end and brighter inward. Apply the same color to the other shapes as well. Now apply gradient color to each of the blue shapes' thickness. Give dark blue color to the slider to give a shadow effect. Next, we'll delete out the corner anchor points for each of the thickness shape. If necessary, add anchor points to reduce the thickness and add anchor points where it needs support. This way, we are giving a clean finishing at the end. Do this for all the curve shapes. Next, draw out a line parallel to our design and apply 3D extrude and bevel option. Increase the extrude depth and click OK. Set the position just like this, covering the overlapping ends. After that, expand the shape. Next, we'll set the ends of the curves parallel to the rectangle. So select the anchor point and place it parallel to the shape. For the surfaces, let's reduce the number of anchor points first. So select the shape and go to Object, Path, Simplify. Set the curve precision and the angle threshold value to full and click OK. This will leave the minimum number of anchor points to maintain the shape. Do the same for the other surface. Now delete the extra points using the pen tool, then set the corner points accordingly. Do the same for the second curve shape. On the other side, let's do the same for this surface. Select and reduce the number of anchor points using the Simplify option. After that, use the Direct Selection tool to adjust the corner points and set it parallel to the plane. Next, apply the background color to the rectangle. Pick the color using the eyedropper tool. Now, create another duplicate of the rectangle and apply orange gradient color. Reduce the size of the shape and arrange it to back. Use the shortcut Command or Control, open square bracket. Give dark color on both ends and bright color in the middle. After that, edit the gradient direction. Next, create another duplicate of the rectangle and apply blue gradient color to it. Set the gradient direction using the gradient tool and arrange it to back of the design. Make sure that all the background shapes are properly hidden. For that, tweak their corner points. Select and place them under the overlapping region. In the same way, create another duplicate of the rectangle shape. Place it around here and modify it according to the perspective view. Now for the gradient color, give background color to both the color sliders and dark blue color for the middle. Let's create one more duplicate of the shape for this end. Edit the anchor points to match it with the flow of the design. After that, pick the background color using the eyedropper tool. Add one last rectangle in the middle and adjust the gradient color. For both the corner sliders, use this color code. And for the center region, give dark color to give more depth. Now the next thing we're going to do is to add shadows. So let's select this shape and create a duplicate on top. Use the shortcut Command-Ctrl-C to copy and Command-Ctrl-F to paste in front. After that, apply gradient color. Then under gradient panel, choose fading sky. For the first slider, choose black color and white color for the second slider. After that, open the appearance panel. Double click on the opacity. Here, change the blend mode to overlay. Let's change the gradient type to radial and adjust the gradient direction and the size. Increase the size to expand the range. Increase the size of the rectangle to see the proper effect. And set the position around here. Next, we'll follow the same steps for the surfaces. Select them, create a duplicate on top and apply the gradient color. Adjust the size and the angle individually. This will add a shadow to your design. Lastly, I'll draw a small strip of shape using the pen tool. Apply the color same as the curve thickness and arrange it to back. Now we'll jump into Photoshop for further adjustments. Open a new Photoshop document and drag and drop the design to the work area. Scale up the size and place it on the right side. Add brightness and contrast adjustment layer to increase the contrast. Then add a hue and saturation adjustment layer and increase the saturation value. Next, we'll add a nice overlay pattern to your design. So double click on the Smart Object layer to open the Layer Style panel. Here, activate Pattern Overlay. Change the blend mode to overlay, choose Pattern Design, adjust the opacity, scale on size and click OK. To get a proper effect, create two more duplicates of the layer. Click and drag it on the layer icon to create the duplicates. For the first one, change the blend mode to multiply and reduce the opacity to 30%. Then for the second one, set it to screen. Now delete out the effects from both the layers. For the multiply layer, I have given 38% opacity and for the screen layer, around 41%. After that, double click on the pattern overlay and choose the final pattern design. Set the scale size to 33% and the opacity to 22%. Lastly, type out a text. Use the font Railway Extra Bold font. Scale up the size and to hide a section of the text, use the Mask tool. Then with the brush tool, hide out the region. Finally, we have completed creating another amazing graphic design. The design was a little complex, but we have achieved it using very simple techniques. You can use the same techniques to create your own designs. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to check out the next tutorial coming up, and if you want more updates on designing, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.